Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tech Informist. This is episode 56, I believe, recorded live on Friday, April the 10th. My name is Kevin Ravel. I'm joined by Brad Whiteside. Brad, how are you today?
Pretty good, Kevin. How about you?
Doing well. It's Apple Watch pre-order day, so everybody's very excited about pre-ordering their Apple Watches. I have yet to do so myself, and Brad, have you pre-ordered one?
No, I went to go price one, and I think I would rather have a Surface Pro 3 for that price, so maybe not. And I don't think it would work very well with any of my Android or Windows devices.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much in the same boat of the one that we would get. It's about $1,000. The all black and mid level one.
Yes,
The
yes, it's
not the
pretty,
Watch
but
Edition or just Apple Watch is it's confusing the
yeah,
naming
it's pretty,
schemes.
but I certainly could not afford a watch at that price,
All right.
especially one that's going to go out of date in a couple of years. But guess what? Guess what, Kevin? It's
What?
also Galaxy S6 Day.
Yes. So the S6, the S6 Edge are officially in stores today at your favorite carrier. So stop in and have a look and pick one up for yourself. If you didn't pre-order one, you might still be able to get one, but hopefully you pre-ordered one and you'll be able to pick it up today. And there's also another big news story coming out for today that released a little bit after we last spoke on Wednesday. Gabe All joined Windows Weekly and announced that the next version of the Windows 10 for phone preview was going to be available today at noon Central Time. So I believe 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is that correct?
Let's see. New York is 1, so yeah, that'd put Chicago at noon.
Yep. So whenever we finish this, in about 15 or so minutes, we'll be able to hopefully download the next version. And it's going to open up to many more devices. So both of us with 1520s. You've also got a 920. I've got an 820 sitting here as well. Pretty much everybody other than those that have an Icon or a 930 will be able to download this today and try it out on your Windows phone. So I know you're looking forward to it. I'm looking
Oh,
forward to it.
yes. I'm considering how well it does with my 635. I might put it on my 920, but we'll see.
I would put it on the 920 just to put it on a little bit better hardware.
That's true.
That's that's me. I think the experience on there would be a little bit better because the 920 is a little bit bigger than the 635.
Yeah, a little bit bigger, slightly faster, a little more RAM, all those good things.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, you got your 1520, so you don't have to
Don't have to
mess with your
fret.
daily driver. And
Yeah, one of my daily drivers.
yeah, yeah. Currently, you're also checking out the LG G Flex 2 and Nexus
Nexus
6.
6.
Yeah.
Yep.
So of the two, what is it about the G Flex 2 that you're liking so far?
The screen. The screen is absolutely gorgeous. I think because it's the OLED screens from LG. I have an LG TV as well, and I'm very fond of their panels. I think they're gorgeous, and they always look better than anything else that I see or look at. But when it comes down to the OS itself, the bare bones OS from Android on the Nexus 6 is fantastic compared to the muddled up crapware that the LG unfortunately comes with.
Right. So when it comes to the curved display of the Flex 2, have you made phone calls or how have you been experiencing that curved display? What is
I
your reactions to it?
actually sort of like it. It's weird. I didn't think I was going to like it very much, but I sort of like it. I think it has a niche market. I don't think everyone would like it. Um, it's interesting when you hold it up to your face because it kind of fits that like nice little that curve, I guess, of your cheek or whatever.
Hmm.
And when it's in your pocket, I mean, I'd carried it in my back pocket, so it fit perfect in there. So I mean, like I said, it's sort of a niche device, but it's definitely worth checking out. I don't like the buttons on the back though. That bothers me.
So you're still not able to get used to those.
It's not so much used to them. It's because I carry my phone screen facing my body in my pocket, so I don't hit it on something and crack it. The buttons would be on the back, so I would hit something with the button because I would, it'd be facing out, and then it'll turn on when it's in my pocket. That's not an all the time thing, but occasionally.
Now, which pocket have you been carrying the Nexus 6 in?
In my back pocket with taking the place of my 635 in my back pocket.
Okay.
It actually fits pretty good considering it's a 6-inch device, but that's my work pants, so anything can fit in there. So
A little bit baggier, huh?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely could not carry both 6-inch phones in my jeans.
All right. So you've said that you think the battery life on the Nexus 6 is pretty good. Now
It's phenomenal.
you've probably got it set up with just like one email account and
Yeah, I've got.
stuff.
Well, I only have. Well, no, that's not true. I have my. No, I've got the two on there. My
Okay.
Gmail and my Windows.
Okay. All right. So, but I mean, whenever you were setting it up and you install a lot of your Microsoft apps and stuff like that. Even it's kind of even what I've gone through with the iPhone.
Hmm.
There's a lot of good Microsoft apps that you can install on there, and you can
Hmm.
still use a lot of great services. And do you feel sometimes the app experiences? How do you feel those app experiences compare to
Well,
what you have on the Windows Phone? Compare between the two systems.
for instance, the Outlook app is actually really pretty, and it seems like what was it, Acompli? Like they did a really good
Yes.
job doing that app, and I'm glad that Microsoft nabbed them because I want to see that on my other Windows devices. That on an actual Windows device, that'd be cool. It takes a little getting used to with the swiping left and right and up and down and like JJ said, but I I definitely want to see that on some more devices because it's a really pretty app and it's really functional. I'm big into aesthetics when it comes to apps, and it really has it there. But I mean, everything else seems much the same of what I have on my Windows phone. When I go to Xbox Music or Smart Glass or anything like that, it's more the same.
Okay.
So it's very comparable.
Nice. And how do you feel about the front-facing speakers on the Nexus 6?
Oh, I do like those. I wish more phones had those. They work very nicely.
And do you like the little dimple on the back?
It I don't really notice it actually.
I didn't know if, because some people like to use that as a reference point when holding the device, and
Oh, interesting. I think I kind of do that. Interesting. Huh.
kind of like center it up on your hand or something like that.
I actually put my pointer finger right in the middle of the M on that little spot back there.
Okay. All right. Nice. Well, let's get into some tech news here today.
Yes, indeedy.
Yeah. So we all know today Apple Watch pre-order day. And you can also go to your local Apple store and actually see them in person starting today. But some interesting news has started rolling out about Android Wear on iPhone. Now, apparently Google feels that they're really close to getting this released where you could use an Android Wear smartwatch with your iPhone. And for somebody like myself, I think that would be pretty nice because I've got a LG G Flex sitting downstairs at the moment that just not even really using it. So I think it would be nice if I could use that with the iPhone. And I don't know, just talking about whether or not Apple will allow something like this is kind of interesting because we all know most competitors don't like having other people's services work with their own devices, and Apple's obviously wanting to push as many Apple Watch sales as possible. I'm wondering if they feel that this could be something that they were like, no, I don't think we're going to let this happen just because we don't want it cutting into our sales. So, what are your thoughts, Brad, on
It's a
this?
very good point. Because Apple just got rid of all of the kind of all their partners that they had with like Fitbit and whatnot in their stores
Yeah,
in time for the Apple Watch. So I wonder if they might block this in the future if it becomes too big of a thing and it cuts into their sales. I
right.
mean, they have the power, you know. Usually, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, you're all hands in. So, but I mean, in looking at it from a customer perspective, I mean, this is great. You can get whatever phone you want, pair it with whatever device you want. I mean, that should be how it is with all of them, in my
Right.
opinion. Because I mean, maybe you like the LG G Watch better than maybe let's say the Apple Watch, the Microsoft Band, you know, and but you can pair it with your iPhone. That's awesome.
Right.
I don't see any reason why people shouldn't do that. In fact, Microsoft did it with the Band. I mean, they kind of have to, but um, you know, it works on all three devices, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Now, Android Central did a really nice editorial on this topic, and they mentioned that Google doesn't really need privileged access to the OS to make most Android Wear features work, thanks to iOS 8. And API hooks already exist to let wearables like Pebble to grab notifications, while extensibility in iOS 8 would allow Google's iPhone apps to emulate Android features like replying to a Gmail message over voice on your watch. So,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, so this, I mean, I don't know if this could actually happen, and I think it would make a lot of people very happy if it could. Like, I mean, like you just mentioned.
Or maybe they just can't even afford, you know, the new Apple Watch. I mean, because we, like you and me both were talking about it, we priced them out, and it's $1,000 for the ones we want. But you know, you could get a metal variant with all the nice bands and whatnot on Android, and be a lot cheaper.
Right.
So,
Now, some of the potential roadblocks of this, of course, is, you know, in the App Store from Apple, if you name anything Android, the app pretty much gets kicked. I mean, they're pretty strict when it comes to that. I mean, I know Phil has even mentioned that they've been trying to get an Android Central app approved for iOS devices, but because the whole Android being in the name, that it
interesting.
just has not happened. So, and obviously this is called Android Wear, so that could cause an issue with that as well. So I don't know. I mean, it could possibly still happen. If it does, great. If it doesn't, that's kind of a shame. But you kind of understand why it won't. But there's still always hope, and hopefully, we'll get a little bit more information from the Google I/O developer conference in late May. They're talking about. So I mean, they're saying that's kind of like a likely time frame for an announcement for this. So I guess we'll just keep seeing what'll happen and where things will go from there.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about HBO on Sling TV.
All right, well, if you're like me and you don't have an Apple TV or Apple product that you would like to watch a full-fledged show like Game of Thrones on, you have the option of using Sling TV on Xbox One, and it now can get HBO Go. Or, well, HBO Now, yeah. Their new cord-cutting service.
Hmm.
Um, it's it's $20 a month for Sling, which you get a whole slew of channels that actually could cut a cord on a lot of people.
Right.
And then you also, in order to get HBO, it's the same subscription price as you would with any of the iOS devices. It's $15 a month, and it's just kind of an added package. There's little packages that you can get of premium programming to add on to Sling TV. So it's sort of like, pricing out your cable and whatnot. It's just more geared towards things that people watch constantly. And I think, with Game of Thrones coming out, this is nice to know that there is an option, especially if you do have Sling TV.
Yeah. Now, do you already use HBO Now on any device? Do you
We
subscribe
use
to that?
HBO Go,
Okay. Which
but
is essentially because
I mean, it's the same thing, right?
yeah.
Yeah. For I mean, when it comes to delivering you the service that you need, they're both the same thing. It's just one's paid for, a la carte, while the other one comes with your cable provider.
Cable subscription. Okay.
Yeah.
So with HBO Now, does this give you access to like all of HBO's current television programming? We're talking, you know, Game of Thrones obviously is
Yeah, and
kind of the biggest one.
some movies are sprinkled in there, and they change regularly. I think they just brought The Sopranos back to be able to stream all of that.
Okay.
And yeah, there's quite a bit of shows in there that you can go that are backlogged. And like I said, the movies change regularly, so you just kind of check to see their availability, how long they're available. It'll tell you like available till the end of April or something along that line. But
So kind of like
yes,
an on-demand service from your cable provider, where it's
right,
at the bottom, hey, you've got until 2 more weeks to be able to watch this, or another
right.
month.
And I prefer the on-demand kind of watching TV because I don't watch a whole bunch.
Right. Yeah. So being able to just pick up a show and just start watching whenever is good as well. I mean, that's one of the nice things about Amazon Prime. You can watch a lot of the backlog of HBO television programming, through Amazon Prime and stuff. And obviously, that's an exclusive deal that they've got with HBO and Amazon. So Netflix, you're not getting the HBO experience. Though I cannot remember. It's been so long since I've actually had Netflix, the physical disc subscription.
Yeah, I
I
got
don't.
rid of that couple years back because we didn't use it often enough for it to be worth it. I would just rather run the Redbox and grab a $2 Blu-ray for the night and that be done. And when I'm done with that, next day drop it off.
Right. So I'm curious if Netflix, the DVD subscription, if you can still rent the physical
Ooh.
copies of like Sopranos and stuff like that. 'Cause I remember you
Oh.
could.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if it's on Blu-ray and whatnot, more than likely they have it. Um, but that's a good question.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've had that. I just do not know anymore. Because I
Yeah,
know
me
a lot of
too.
things have changed, and Netflix has lost some exclusive deals, but then they've also signed some exclusive deals.
Yep.
So I don't know. But speaking of Amazon Prime,
Aha.
you can now get Amazon Prime music stations now available on your Android devices. Now, it's another one of the nice things about an Amazon Prime subscription is the fact that you can get all this like unlimited music that you can access and stream and listen to on your devices. So now Android users can enjoy unlimited ad-free access to the Amazon Prime music stations. So what Prime stations are, they're ad-free internet radio essentially, consider Pandora. And users can select from hundreds of Prime stations based on their musical preference and listen for as long as they want. Stations are either specific artists or genres of music, and once selected, a continuous stream of music will be played. And as the article from Android Central goes on to mention, much like Pandora, you can give the thumbs up to songs you enjoy, thumbs down to ones you don't, and in addition to songs can be paused, replayed, or skipped, all without restriction. Getting set up on your Android device is quick and easy, and Prime members will just need to download the Amazon Music app from Google Play, sign in, and select a station, and away you go.
That was my first question is Is it like, comparable to Pandora? But we already answered that.
Yeah.
Um,
So I know it's one of the frustrating things about Pandora is, if you skip, a certain amount of songs, all of a sudden they're
they
like,
won't
hey,
let you.
you
Yeah.
can't skip this one whether you like it or not. So, I've actually found a lot of pretty decent music on Amazon's service whenever I've looked through it. And, again, I'm not the biggest music listener because just I listen to more podcasts and talk radio than anything.
Right. Me too anymore.
So it's kind of tough there, but it is still good, and I know it's nice it is included in my Prime subscription. So I don't know. Are you a Prime subscriber?
I don't shop on Amazon enough for it to be worth it for me. No. My
Okay.
fiance, on the other hand, it seems like she's buying something every day
Okay.
or every week. But that's interesting.
Yeah, maybe
Wonder
you
if
guys should.
that'll come to iOS because she's an iOS user. So
I will actually have to look at that. Maybe when you're talking about your next story here, I'll look into that and see.
alrighty, I might need your help on this next story, but
Astronauts.
yeah. So there's a few people in the International Space Station, and they let kids kind of write into them. How astronauts perform everyday tasks in the microgravity of space. And I found this the other night on IO9, and I sat and watched every single video because I think it's space is one of those things that just really excites me, really gets me interested, and you know, for people to experience that is like a once in a lifetime thing as of right now. I mean, that might change in the future, but I mean, growing up as a kid, I always wanted to go into space, but things change when you get older.
Yeah, it does. It makes me wonder. If it sounds like it'd be a really interesting experience to say the least.
One of the last videos had him talking about like what was like something he really wanted to eat when he got back to Earth, and he said, "Well, it's funny you say that because when you get back to Earth, you feel sick for the first few hours because your digestive system is settling into the gravity." But he says after that's all said and done, he really wants a veggie pizza with extra olives.
Veggie pizza with extra olives.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
But yeah, there's quite a few videos on here. I'm sure they'll be in the show notes. But they've got brushing teeth, how they sleep, how they wash their hands, even exercising.
Yeah. Getting
They
a haircut.
yeah, haircut. They show where they use the bathroom, but they don't show them using the bathroom, so don't shy away from
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it just says using the toilet.
Yes, it's that would the using the toilet would be interesting, is what I have to say to that.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's real cool stuff. It's very cool that they take a little time out of their day to answer little kids questions about how things are done in space. Because I mean, I didn't even know some of these things, so
I
it's
know
really
it's
cool
always
stuff.
the things that you've always wondered, but now, I mean, technology is, before, astronauts could only communicate with, you know, command center essentially, but now, I mean, schools, if they get the proper authorization, I mean, they can just like Skype into these people on the space stations and stuff like this and have a conversation just like you're just like right there, but yet you're miles and miles above Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, and I mean, just the view of being able to see our little blue marble and the greatness of space is that would be incredible.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Uh, Daryl confirms in the chat room about physical DVDs for HBO services. He says he's actually watching Game of Thrones that way.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good to know.
Yeah, so those of you actually still on the physical disc, you can still access those, but you can't stream. No streaming for us Netflix users. So eventually you'll be able to, because I've yet to watch Game of Thrones myself.
Oh,
So as you
Oh,
see,
okay.
I'm
Well,
so on point with current shows.
yes, but I mean, you're getting through Breaking Bad. You're almost there. So kudos to you for jumping into that because that is definitely one of my top five favorite shows of all time.
Oh, it's been a trip.
And if you get the chance, I'd definitely check out Game of Thrones.
I think I would be interested in
If you
Game of
can
Thrones.
if you're one of the people that doesn't like a lot of blood and gore or nudity or anything like that, you can kind of push it out of your mind and, just kind of sit through it because the human interaction is just fantastic in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I can handle a lot of that stuff. So I'll be all right. So speaking of the Apple Watch again, like we mentioned today's the first day that you can pre-order them online. And so Apple confirms that the Apple Watch orders are exclusively online for the launch period. And they obviously expect the demand to outstrip supply. So kind of piggybacking off what we talked about last episode where Apple does not want people camping in front of their stores for product launches. It looks like they may kind of go in this direction. I don't know if they'll do this for iPhone because an iPhone is something people like want that day. Um, I don't know. It's
So actually, I think you're correct on that. I think they are going in this direction because it's also been stated that the new MacBook, that the tiny one with the C port on it,
yeah. Hmm.
will also be done this way. They will not have in-store availability on, the launch period, whatever that is. So I think this is how they're going to get people, I guess, away from the front of the store, um, without being, I guess, mean to them.
Without being mean. It's just mean all the way around. Let people camp. That'll be the next young social movement in America.
Yeah.
Let people camp. Let people camp. So, yeah, as 95 Mac has previously reported, all customers visiting the Apple Store in the launch countries will be able to see all three models, although try-on sessions for the Apple Watch Edition are limited to only a select number of locations. Apple Watch demo stands will let walk-in customers play with watch faces and other features. No appointment necessary.
Well, if the Apple Store is not too crazy today, I might swing in there too, just to look.
Yeah, I mean, if you're planning on going to your Microsoft store today to
It's
do a
just
couple,
right across the hall.
it is literally just right across the hall. So I think it'd be pretty nice if you go in there and shoot a few pictures and share them since I'm still under the weather and will not be making it up there like I planned to do today.
Well, if it's not super crazy, I might just do that.
Okay, I'd like to see what like to see what your opinions and thoughts are from taking a look at it.
Well, without looking at it in person, I think it's a really beautiful watch. I think it's one of the best looking ones, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But the price is a little up there, but I guess you kind of get that when you pay for some Apple products.
Yeah, I mean, 350 seems pretty expensive just
It's
for
pretty
the
steep for me for
baseline.
a watch.
Yeah. For a watch, and here I don't even really wear the G watch that, I bought last year that much, and I just found I do not wear wearables. I don't know.
Huh, interesting.
Maybe I'll quote unquote grow out of that in the future, but I guess we will see. So tell us a little bit about the Windows 10 for phones.
Well, as you actually mentioned earlier, that's going to launch. I actually just kind of put this in here as just a quick note for anybody who's interested. Gabe had mentioned that it's going to launch about 1 o'clock Eastern Time, which would be about noon Central, which is what, 10 a.m. over in California.
Yes,
Um,
10 a.m. Pacific.
yeah, so just so you guys know, new Windows 10 for phones is coming out very soon, and I think we'll all be checking that out.
Yeah, in this story that you'll link to, they actually have a countdown timer, and it's at 26 minutes and seconds.
Yes, it is.
So, it's coming very soon, and again, I'm looking forward to just throwing it on my 1520 and giving it the full experience and factory resetting and doing all that fun stuff with it today. So it'll be my first time actually getting to spend some real time with it. I mean, I've seen other people with it on their 635s, and it looked nice. And looking at these new features that they're talking about having available on in this next build, really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it today. Let's see. So I think that you're next up with this virtual reality thing.
Oh, all right. So I don't think VR is a now thing, says Xbox boss, which is actually Phil Spencer, if any of you know him. So basically what this article covered was, let's see, Games Radar on Edge Magazine did a little, talking to Phil Spencer, and he gave his thoughts on VR, and he, quoting him, he says, "I don't think VR is a now thing. I'm not saying it's 5 years from now, but it's not really a now thing." And I'd almost have to agree with that. I don't think VR is going to be that big of a thing right now, and it might take a few years to catch on. If it catches on, it might end up like 3D did. 3D was cool, and I liked the technology, but it just never caught on. And I think VR is going to be, I can't say it's going to be. I think it could be that. But I really want to see VR. I want to use it, and take my own personal opinion from it. But they seem more interested in developing the HoloLens, which why shouldn't they be? That no one else has anything like this on the market, even remotely close. So right. I think, if they wanted to get into VR, I think they could just talk to any of the, HTC Vive or even talk to Oculus Rift and go that route. But we'll see.
Yeah, I do completely agree with you, especially when it comes to the gaming aspect of virtual reality. I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it'd be something I'd want to sit and wear on my head playing,
well,
2-3 hours of game
motion sickness from it, and that's a big issue. I myself wouldn't, I don't think, but my cat's running around like crazy. I don't know if you can hear that, but I would really like to try it out just to see if I would get motion sickness, because I don't tend to get that from rides or cars or boats or anything like that, so I wouldn't think that I would get it from it, but you never know.
I've noticed as I get older, more and more roller coasters and stuff like that kind of get me a little bit more.
Oh yeah, huh.
So it's.
Well, I've never really been a big roller coaster person, but I enjoy a few here and there.
Yeah. So I've noticed things like that that'll get me, and sometimes watching 3D movies in theaters, having to wear just because I don't wear glasses. I mean, I can wear contacts.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's in wearing glasses that I'm not used to. That for 2-hour movie, sometimes that kind of leaves me feeling a little nauseous to a point. So I don't know if it's wearing the glasses or if it's the kind of the 3D effect, if that kind of bothers me a little bit. So I don't know. This might be something that I would have to pass on. Not something that I'd want to invest a lot of money in.
Oh, right, yeah. And I think that's kind of the point of that article. They don't want to invest money into an unknown market just yet. Kind of like with the Microsoft Band. They're kind of just testing the market.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Band's doing well, so, maybe they'll get into it a little more. But same with VR. Maybe it goes over really well and everybody wants one. Then I think they'd put their... I mean, shoot. They might even do what they've done with the Surface 3 and the Band and just come out, hey, this is the day, and we're coming out with this device. Here you go. And it's like, surprises everybody.
Yeah,
they've been doing that a lot lately.
Seems to be Microsoft's MO here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, we got this new product and it's already in stores. Go look at it today.
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah, they've been doing really good with keeping things under wraps when it comes to major product launches like that. That is very impressive to be able to do that in this day and age. To be able to get people to swear to secrecy and actually hold it. It is
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a feat in and of itself.
Right.
So it is going to be interesting to see once HoloLens actually releases and Vive and the VR and
Oh shoot, I'll stand in line just to try on the HoloLens.
yeah, yeah. I know I've mentioned before at CES when they had the Oculus Rift booth. I'm just looking at that line. I'm like, there's no way I'm standing in that line for that. Just not gonna do it. Not do it.
It'd be interesting though to see what that price point is for the HoloLens. I think the 400 to 500, if they can somehow hit that, even
Yeah,
maybe 6, it would sell pretty well.
I think five's the high end.
The magical, yeah, that magical number.
Yeah, so oh, I'm with you. I'm thinking somewhere between 400 and 500 is going to be the point that they're going to shoot for.
If they hit 300, Kevin, those things are
Um,
going off shelf like hotcakes.
yeah, you won't be able to buy one until March or April of next year. If they
Right.
release it in, I think they're talking about releasing it in what, November?
So
December?
everyone was saying that like November was kind of the big launch date for Windows 10, but with their announcing that it's going to be this summer, does that make HoloLens this summer then?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't think so.
No,
No, I still think that'll stay for the fall.
I think it'll be before Black Friday though.
Oh, yeah, that's very possible. Very possible. So we will we will see.
Indeed.
It's, I don't know. So many pretty wild things going on right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of awesome tech coming out, and it makes me very excited.
Yes. It makes your pocketbook not quite as excited, obviously.
No, that's why I like to look instead of buy.
Right? Especially with you getting married later this year and dealing with the wedding and the
Uh-huh.
honeymoon and that's a lot of money
Maybe
being
next year.
maybe next year. All right. So I guess we'll hop into the app and entertainment picks. I'm just going to let you fly solo on this as well because it looks like you got some pretty interesting submissions here.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with my TV pick. If you guys have ever seen Cosmos by Carl Sagan, they redid Cosmos, and it's Cosmos: A Space-Time Odyssey, and that is done by Neil deGrasse Tyson, which I am actually going to go see in May, and I'm super excited about. Um, but you can watch it right now on Netflix, or if you like it enough, which I did, so we went ahead and bought it on Blu-ray off of Amazon, and by we I mean her, because she always buys all the movies. But it is a great documentary of how our universe, revolves and works. It's one of those things that piques my interest again because it's space, of course. So naturally, I'm drawn to it, and I think you would all like it, and you should all check it out.
Okay.
As far as music picks, I have a kind of an older album. It's they call it a metalcore band. You could almost call it just rock. It's by The Confession, off of their album that debuted in 2007, Requiem. Now, they only made one album besides their EP because they actually disbanded a few years after that
Oh,
for
okay.
personal reasons. But yeah, finding their album in stores is next to impossible for me, at least. So iTunes has it for $9.90, and Google Play seemed to have it for $9.49. It's if you like Avenged Sevenfold, you will love The Confession. It's a really awesome album. I wish they would have done more stuff, but personal reasons get in the way of that sometimes, and that's okay. That's their choice, not mine.
Yeah, it's the life of a musician.
Yes, but it's a really great album, and if you like them enough, maybe pay $5 more for the EP. I will warn you, the EP only has 2 songs that are not on the actual Requiem album, so you're kind of paying $5 for 2 songs. But the songs that are on the album that are also on the EP are done slightly differently. So if you want to check that out, you can do that too.
That's interesting. Always those little backstories of, you release it on an EP, you get this. If you release it this way, you get this.
Well, we'd actually saw them at, I think it was a Point Fest or something like that.
Okay.
And that's how we knew about them and got to know them, and we're like, man, this band's awesome. And then lo and behold, like a year later, oh, we're disbanding and we won't be doing music anymore. Oh.
As so often happens.
Yeah, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending how you look at it.
Did you know that Lego has a website where users can go and submit projects and people can vote on them?
I think I read that somewhere, but tell me more.
So I was looking through some other stories early the other day, and basically the headline was about the Golden Girls and this Lego set that somebody had designed, and it was like the Golden Girls living room and kitchen and the characters and stuff. So I click on the link and I open up this website for Lego, and it just looks like all these different user submitted projects, and if it receives enough votes from people, Lego possibly will actually build these sets.
Well, that's really cool.
Of various things, and there was all sorts of different things, individual Simpson cars, and
that makes me wonder if that's how the Minecraft one got started.
It's very possible.
I mean, Minecraft and Legos, that just makes sense, though. So maybe they just thought it was such a good idea that, they didn't care about the votes. They were going to do it anyway because they knew it was going to sell.
Yeah, because I remember gosh, what was it? This last Christmas that thing was like a hot seller, trying to get a hold of.
Yeah, I still actually need to get one of them or something.
Let's see. There it is. So it's ideas.lego.com.
Ideas.lego.com.
And just looking at it, you've got all sorts of different. Have an idea for a Lego set, share your idea, gather support, Lego reviews it, possibly a new Lego product.
It's like Kickstarter for Legos.
Essentially, yeah. Like this one here on the main page, it's a staff pick. It's for Boardwalk Arcade, and 597 supporters. It's got 106 days left. So, I mean, these aren't like short little things.
Oh, I see a Titanic one. I know a friend of mine would really like that.
Yeah. Talking about the Golden Girls one, for example, it has 10,000 supporters, and it has achieved support. So it looks like it might actually get made. 10,018.
I kind of wonder if that was like maybe a joke to begin with, but then people are like, no, actually, I do want this.
Right.
That's interesting.
And actually, that's not the only Golden Girls one there. There's actually another one there that's only got 6,341 supporters left.
With like 2 days left.
Yeah. There's a Flying Dutchman, a big old.
Oh, that's cool.
It's got 10,000 supporters, and it is currently in review. So Lego, I guess, is looking at possibly making that.
Oh yeah, and there's a Lord of the Rings one in review, a Labyrinth Marble in review, piano in review. Huh.
Yeah,
some cool stuff.
And then down at the very bottom, they've got products that are actually on shelves. So I guess products that have actually been submitted, gone through the whole process, and you can buy online.
Oh, I found one I want. International Space Station. 10,000 supporters plus.
Wow.
Achieved support.
There's the 30th anniversary campaign for The Goonies. showing the Goonies ship that was in there. Lord of the Rings Natural History Museum, Avengers Helicarrier, Jurassic Park. I mean, this
Oh, the Jurassic Park one, that's cool.
I mean, that's pretty wild stuff. I had no idea that you could just go and submit your own Lego idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that is so cool. It just goes to show the popularity of the little plastic brick.
Well, and you have to admit, Lego, I think at first, going into the 21st century, they didn't know what to, make of all this new electronical stuff, and they've really took to it. Like they made games, and I mean,
But
there's
yeah,
all kinds of Lego games out, and they're not bad games actually. They're
no, they're fun
fun.
little games.
Yeah, and I think Lego is a company that's going to be around for a while because they changed, and they changed, you know, with open arms, kind of, so to speak, just diving right into all the new stuff and actually people taking it pretty well. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
they adapted well. Kodak, not so much.
Yeah, right. Kodak, not so much.
So yeah, kudos to Lego. I mean, I know Legos are not cheap. God, they're so
No,
expensive.
not quite, but I mean, if it's something you really like or want, what's the one-time purchase going to be for just that one thing, or
Right.
two or three?
Yeah, but it's just so funny how these things have just taken off like this. That whenever I was growing up, you just got a random set of Legos and just different colored and sizes blocks. They weren't coming out in
Yeah,
specific sets like
me
this where you
too.
could build things. You were actually left up to your imagination to come up with these things that they now sell prepackaged
Yeah,
to make. But yeah, the it's really neat. You got the Mir space station, the International Space Station, and just all sorts of different things. That's pretty cool. I'll add this to the show notes as well, so people can take a look at this.
check it out.
That's pretty neat stuff. I like it. And I
Oh
think it's
yeah,
really neat.
definitely.
But I think it pretty much does it for today. We got about 9 more minutes, and we go update our phones.
Uh-huh.
So go ahead and put the bow on top of this package and prepare it for delivery. So,
Sounds
Brad,
good.
again, thank you very much for joining us. How can people get in touch with you in the future?
At holy shadows on Twitter.
Right. And that's also your Xbox Live handle, isn't it?
Minus the underscore, it's
Minus.
Holy Shadows, as if it were like a proper name, so capital A, capitalize H, capitalize S.
Okay.
It's my gamer
Nice.
tag on Xbox.
Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Nice. So any new games you're looking forward to? Just real quick while I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. So State of Decay, they're re-releasing that with all the DLC and remastered, so 1080p, 60 frames per second. That magical, spec that everybody needs
Oh
to
yeah,
have right now.
gotta have it.
Yeah, and that one I'm definitely looking forward to. The more I learn about Witcher 3, the more I want to check it out because it's a massive game. It's 64 gigabyte game, and
Wow.
it's a huge open world. Like looked at the map the other day, and it's just ginormous. I don't know if it dwarfs Grand Theft Auto 5, but I mean it definitely rivals it for any stretch of the imagination. Speaking of Grand Theft Auto 5, Kevin, if you want to buy Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PC on discs, it comes in 6 discs.
Good Lord.
But yeah, I would, if I were to get that, I would definitely just get it off the Steam store because I don't like discs anymore. They scratch, they break, then you're out of game and $60.
Yeah,
So that's no fun.
that is true. It is tough to do that, but I'm kind of like JJ, where I still like physical media.
I feel like if it's a game I'm not sure I'm gonna like, I'll buy it on a disc form. But if it's one I know I'm gonna like, I'll buy it digitally because I know I'm gonna keep it. So that
Right.
way I have the option of selling the other one off and getting other games later.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That is true. All right. Well, I just wanted to double check while we touched on games there for a second. If there was anything in particular that had caught your eye that you were wanting to get.
Should hear more later.
Okay, okay.
I'm sure there's more coming out that'll definitely catch my eye. Especially after E3. Once E3 hits, then we'll really know.
And when is E3? Do you have an idea?
Let's see, mid-June this year, which is odd. It's usually the first week of June. It's almost mid to late. I don't know the exact date, but it's like mid to late June. I'm sure you can look it up on Google or Bing or whatever.
Okay. All right. And just a reminder, Brad will probably be filling in for me next week as I am in Las Vegas for the New Media Expo Conference. And
Getting all kinds of screen time.
the National Association of Broadcasters, I believe that's what it's called, is NAB. So I will be out there attending, not speaking.
NAB, as in not as in non-alcohol beverage.
Exactly, yeah. The way I'm feeling right now, there will not be any
of that.
there will not be any hangover-style stories, escapades of this trip to Vegas.
Just a reminder, if you are in the St. Louis area and you do happen to listen to this before 7 p.m. tonight, we're having our Windows Phone meetup at Schlafly Bottle Works in Maplewood.
Yeah, so
if you want to come hang out with some friends or geeks or, just have a beer with us or food or whatever, come check us out.
Yeah, I'm so bummed I'm not going to be able to...
I know.
This whole sickness, man, this was my idea.
I know.
Throw it out there for a Friday or Friday night. Gosh, and I can't even make it.
Yep.
Terrible. All right,
Maybe next time.
Yes. So you get Brad and JJ next week, all week, and I will be back the following Monday. So,
alrighty.
Wish me safe travels, and hopefully I'll be able to bring back a whole bunch of good information and experiences from there.
That would be excellent.
So again, you can find Brad on Twitter at holy_shadows. And you can find myself, Kevin Harvell, on Twitter at Kevin Harvell. Send any feedback, comments, suggestions to contact at thetechinformist.com or hit us up on social media. Simply search for Tech Informist. And as always, have a safe weekend, everybody, and look forward to talking to you soon. And until next time, consider yourself informed. We are out.